There is a specific reason some backyards look like a boutique hotel at night, and other backyards, even ones with way more expensive furniture, end up looking like a used car lot. It is almost never about how much money was spent. It comes down to a handful of lighting principles that professional landscape designers use constantly, and homeowners almost never know about, because nobody explains them in plain language. The wild part is that most of these tricks cost less than a single dinner out, and a few of them you can install yourself in under an hour with nothing but a screwdriver. So today I'm walking you through 9 backyard lighting tricks that create that expensive, layered restaurant patio glow without the expensive part. And the first one alone will change the way you look at every tree and fence in your yard. Number 1. Uplighting. This is the single biggest secret in professional landscape design, and almost no homeowner does it. Instead of lighting a space from above, you place a small spike light or stake light low to the ground, pointed upward into a tree trunk, along a wall, or up the side of a fence. Light traveling upward creates dramatic shadows and depth that our brains are simply not used to seeing, because in nature almost all light comes from above. That contrast alone is what makes a space feel designed instead of default. A basic set of solar or low-voltage uplights costs almost nothing, and placing just 2 or 3 of them around the tallest features in your yard, a mature tree, a corner post, a piece of architecture, instantly gives the whole space a sense of scale and drama that flat overhead lighting can never achieve. Number 2. Canopy string lights. And this is about the pattern, not the lights themselves. Most people buy string lights and drape them along a fence line or a railing, which looks fine but flat. The trick professionals use is hanging them overhead instead, crisscrossed or curved between 2 anchor points like posts, a pergola, or trees, so they form a canopy above the seating area. That overhead placement creates the sense of an enclosed, intimate room outdoors, the exact same effect restaurant patios chase with their overhead bistro lighting. All it takes is some cup hooks, a bit of wire or tension cable, and the same string lights you were going to buy anyway. The placement is the entire upgrade, and it costs you nothing extra. Number 3. Low, evenly spaced solar pathway lights. This one is deceptively simple, but the mistake almost everyone makes is spacing them randomly or too far apart. Evenly spaced path lights along a walkway or the edge of a gravel bed create a rhythm that your eye reads as intentional and designed, the same way a runway or a hotel entrance uses repetition to feel deliberate. Solar versions cost just a few dollars each, need 0 wiring, and you can literally push them into the ground in an afternoon. The visual return per dollar on this trick is one of the highest on this entire list. Concealed lighting. This is where you take the light source itself and hide it completely, so that only the glow is visible, never the fixture. Think LED strip lights tucked beneath the lip of a step, under a bench seat, along the underside of a retaining wall cap, or inside a pergola beam. When you can see the actual bulb or fixture, your brain registers it as a lamp. When you only see the glow spilling out from somewhere hidden, your brain reads it as architecture, like the space was built with lighting baked in from the start. Cheap, cuttable LED strip lighting is available for very little money, runs off a basic low-voltage transformer or battery pack, and this single trick is responsible for a huge amount of that sleek, modern, architectural backyard look you see in high-end renovation photos. Number 5. A dark backdrop. This one technically isn't a light at all, but it will make every other light on this list look 2 or 3 times more expensive. And it costs you a can of paint. Painting a fence, wall, or shed in a deep charcoal or forest green tone gives your lighting something to contrast against. Warm light against a pale or unfinished wood fence just looks like light. Warm light against a dark, moody backdrop looks like a designed scene, because the darkness makes the light pop and adds depth instead of washing everything out into flatness. Clean the surface, sand it lightly, use an outdoor-rated paint, and every string light, lantern, or uplight you install afterward will read as significantly more premium. Number 6. Layered heights. Almost every backyard that feels flat and cheap is using a single height of lighting. usually just one string of overhead lights and nothing else. Professionals layer at least 3 different heights, something low like path lights, or ground-level uplighting, something at mid-height like a table lantern or a lit planter, and something up high like your canopy string lights. When light exists at multiple levels simultaneously, the eye reads the whole space as three-dimensional and intentional instead of a single flat wash of light thrown from one direction. You don't need 3 expensive systems, you just need to distribute the lights you already own, or plan to buy across different heights instead of clustering them all in one place. Number 7. Sticking to one consistent color temperature. This is a mistake that instantly cheapens an otherwise well-designed yard, and it's incredibly common. People mix cool white LED path lights with warm white string lights with a multicolor solar lantern, and the result looks chaotic and mismatched, no matter how nice each individual fixture is. Every single light source in your backyard should sit in the same warm white range, generally around 2700 Kelvin if you're shopping for bulbs, which is the same warm golden tone used in nearly every high-end restaurant patio and boutique hotel courtyard. This costs you literally nothing beyond checking the packaging before you buy, and it might be the single highest impact, zero-cost decision on this entire list. Grouped ambient lanterns. Instead of one bright light source trying to illuminate an entire seating area, professional designers cluster several small, dim lanterns or flame effect solar candles together on a table or along a ledge. This creates a soft pool of warm, flickering light that feels intimate and layered rather than harshly lit, the same way a candlelit dinner table feels completely different from a room lit by a single overhead bulb. Battery and solar-powered flame effect lanterns are inexpensive, need no wiring at all, and grouping 3 or 4 of them together does more for atmosphere than one large, bright fixture ever could. And number 9, subtle automation. This is the finishing touch that separates a backyard someone clearly put thought into from one that just has lights plugged in. A basic dusk sensor or a cheap smart plug that automatically brings your lighting on at sunset removes the awkward, obviously manual moment of someone walking outside to flip a switch, and instead the space simply glows to life as it gets dark, the same way high-end properties are designed to transition seamlessly from day to night. Motion-activated path lights add the same effect along a walkway, quietly turning on as guests move through the space. None of this requires a full smart home system, just a basic sensor or timer that costs very little and runs on batteries. So here's the real takeaway from all 9 of these tricks. None of them are about spending more money. They're about applying a handful of principles: lighting upward instead of only from above, hiding the source instead of exposing the fixture, staying consistent with color temperature, layering height, and giving your light something dark to contrast against. Apply even 3 or 4 of these in a single weekend, and your backyard will look like it belongs to a completely different budget than the one you actually spent. If this changed how you're going to look at your own backyard tonight, subscribe. Because next time we're taking this even further with the exact fixtures and placements professional landscape lighting designers use on real client properties.